Our Vaishali in Biel, Switzerland, played some amazing chess in classical format. It's time for Blitz now. She's facing Marc Andria Maurizzi from France. Knight f3, knight f6, d4, g6 played by Vaishali and Marc Andria, very talented youngster, 17-year-old, former world junior champion and a very big name in French chess. He castles here and Vaishali plays the symmetrical move d5. We have c4, c6, very solid position here for black, and Vaishali takes the pawn. Marc Andrea takes the center, pawn to b5. Vaishali says, I'm going to cling on to my pawn. Queen e2. This is a risky opening to choose in Blitz, but Vaishali seems to be well prepared. She pushes her pawn to a5. The rook comes to the center, standing opposite the black queen. Vaishali has to now figure out what are the next moves she wants to play. Knight bd7 looks like a good option. There's also bishop a6 with the plan of maybe b4 and c3 coming in. So she's taking her time while Marc Andrea is on 3 minutes and 5 seconds. So clearly well prepared here. These openings are very interesting from the perspective of a fight between material and initiative. It happens in the Catalan quite often. Now e5 is the main move, but he goes d5. Black's best move here is queen e8 or queen c8. Just getting out of the d file and keeping c6 square under control. But Vaishali takes, and now after e5, she's in some big trouble. Because if she plays knight e8, then after knight takes d5, there are all sorts of threats where your queen is under attack. And instead, if you move your knight anywhere, d5 is hanging. So Vaishali now in big trouble. She should have not taken on d5, but now after e5, she has to find some creative solution here. Ooh, and she plays e6. What a move this is, because after takes, let's say queen takes, black has all the pawns intact in the position and white has only 5 pawns, so 3 pawns for a piece. Takes, should take with the queen. She takes with the bishop. This is not the best idea. I can understand that Vaishali was a bit worried about bishop g5, but there was the f5 square. Now knight e4, good move here. And Vaishali plays bishop g7, a further error, because now Marc Andrea finds this epic move bishop g5. Fantastic chess, because if you play f6 now, there are problems. Knight takes f6. Now e6 is hanging. So let's say if pawn takes, bishop takes here, king g7, then rook takes d5, and this is a winning position here for white. So f6 clearly is not working. Also to f6 you have this very nice move knight d4, which creates a mess on the board. So the other move which you would play is to move the queen away somewhere. But then knight f6, the knight settles down on the dark squares, and then the queen slowly would move over and then deliver a mate on h7. So these are some of the big issues that Vaishali is facing. She goes queen c7, but what has she in mind to knight f6 check? That move is just killing. You can see here Marc Andrea trying to think here. If Vaishali can stabilize this position, she would be doing very well, but the position is not so easy to stabilize. Also, the white pieces have great squares to go to. The dark squares are tremendously weak. And you can see here the French GM trying to be very careful about his next move. Rightly so, because he has a winning advantage here. Must give a check. He gives a check, and Vaishali moves the king to h8, which is maybe not the best. She could have taken, but then the dark squares are tremendously weak. Here the problem is that white can now go knight to e5. Excellent move. The point being that after h6 there is bishop f4, and so Vaishali goes knight c6. The final error, because after knight takes, queen takes, beautiful move queen g4, queen h4 threatened, and there is a mate on h7. Even if you play h6, I simply go queen h4 and h6 pawn is lost. If you play h5, I'll just go queen h4 and play g4 or even bishop f3 and take here. So this is a completely winning attack. Somehow you have such a healthy pawn structure but you can't do anything about it. The queen is away, the bishop is away, the rooks are powerless, and this is a beautiful position which shows that sometimes it's all about having good squares for your pieces. If you have them, the pawns are powerless, and that's exactly what has happened. Vaishali can do many moves here, but none of them really work out for her. She's just trying to calculate bit. She pushes her pawn to c3, and Marc Andria now can actually take the pawn. By the way, Vaishali down to 9 seconds on the clock. He can take the pawn, but yes, stronger is queen h4, threatening a mate. h5 played, and now two ways to win. One is bishop f3 with the idea of bishop takes h5. The other idea is just g4, opening up the king side. And I think it's a problem of plenty here for white, because all moves win. Goes g4. And now what is Vaishali going to do? Because even if she goes queen c4, it doesn't really help. The g4 pawn is protected by the knight. cb2, Marc Andria takes here. You cannot make a queen because of edge g6. She plays queen c4, offering a trade of queens, and just queen h3 is completely winning. Let's see how Marc Andria finishes this. I think he will finish this off in style. Yes, bishop e4 is a nice move because it blocks the file, it blocks the rank, and Vaishali resigns. A fantastic win there for the French GM, and also shows the value of a piece against a pawn. A great game there by him.